Hello and welcome to my new video related to Bitcoin education. This video is the fourth lecture related to the monetary value proposition of Bitcoin. Is the fourth and the last one, and the title is Bitcoin, the new form of money. Disclaimer: this presentation is for educational purpose only. It is not a financial advice. The references are mostly from the Bitcoin Standard book, and the second book is the Seven Property, where I also took some information. I strongly recommend to read both of them, especially the Bitcoin Standard, because they both represent two of the best books I have ever read, and the Bitcoin Standard absolutely is the best. Let's start. So Bitcoin, the digital money. So Bitcoin, in fact, represents the first truly digital solution to the problem of money in terms of scalability and soundness and sovereignty. It is highly sellable across space, scale, and time. And we saw this characteristic with the primitive money and gold and paper money in the previous lecture. And it has operated without any failure for the past 12 years. In fact, there are generally two, no, there are only two categories of payments. First, cash payments carried out in person between two parties. Second, intermediate payments, which require a trusted third party. Before Bitcoin, all digital payments were included in this category. Any form of electronic payment had to be carried out via an intermediary because the danger of double spending. After years of several trials and errors, Bitcoin was the first engineering solution that allowed for digital payments without having to rely on a trusted third-party intermediary. Bitcoin, in fact, brings the desirable features of physical cash, lack of intermediary, finality of transaction to the digital realm, and combine them with an ironclad monetary policy that cannot be manipulated to produce unexpected inflation. So it took the best from the physical money and the previous digital money. And Nakamoto removed the need of a trusted third party, party, but proof and verification. Every transaction has to be recorded by every member of the network so that they all share one common ledger of balance and transactions. With its technological design, one of the most important aspects, or maybe the most important aspect, is that Nakamoto was able to invent digital scarcity. Bitcoin is also absolute scarcity, the only liquid commodity, digital or physical, with a set fixed quantity that cannot conceivable be increased. Until Bitcoin, this is very important concept, the scarcity was always relative, never absolute, because the limit on the quantity we can produce of any good is never its prevalence in the planet, but the effort and time dedicated to producing it. So the true scarcity, absolute scarcity, was never existing till Bitcoin. Let's see now supply value and transactions. But Bitcoin take microeconomists, the politicians, presidents, military leaders out of the monetary policy all together in one shot. In fact, monetary supply growth is determined by a programmed function adopted by all members of the network. At the moment, more than 90% of the 21 million Bitcoin have already been mined, and scarcity is slightly increasing every day and doubling every 4 years, the phenomenon called as halving. At the moment, there are 6.25 bitcoins per 10 minutes are mined. In 2028, 2024 will be 3.125 per 10 minutes. The last bitcoin will be mined around in 2140, with the first 20 million bitcoin will be mined by 2025. In 2021, the annual growth rate um, was 1.77%. 2025, it will be 0.83%. With this scarcity, it is high sellable across time. Its digital nature make it easy to safely send worldwide, make sellable in space in a way we have never seen with other form of money, while its invisibility in 100 million Satoshi makes it sellable in scale. So it's high sellable across time, space, and scale. Further, Bitcoin elimination of intermediary control and the near impossibility of any authority debasing and confiscating it renders it free of the main drawbacks of government money. Being new, sorry, So being new and only beginning to spread, Bitcoin price has fluctuated wildly as demand fluctuates. This is all related to the volatility. When demand increases, the supply cannot increase more than its programmed. Therefore, the price increases. In fact, volatility is normal, it's higher at early stage. Bitcoin is quite young. But as the market size grows, the volatility declines. As long as Bitcoin continues to grow in adoption, its appreciation attracts more adopters to it, leading to further appreciation, making this drop in volatility further away. As long as Bitcoin is growing, its token price will behave like that of a stock of a startup achieving very fast growth. Should Bitcoin growth stop and stabilize, it will stop attracting high-risk investment flows and become just a normal monetary asset expected to appreciate slightly over a year. This is when it will become firstly store of value, then medium of exchange, if it will become, the potential are all there, and then a unit of account. The real scarcity, in fact, back to the scarcity, the real scarcity is not the limited amount of resources, but the amount of human time that is directed towards producing it, as that is the only real scarce source. We could produce more of everything, but for some we don't because it's too much time, too much effort to produce it. In all human history, we have never run out of any single material or resource, and the price is virtually lower today than it was in the past, due to our technological advance. The more we advance with technology, the more we can produce every material or metal. We have always increased the supply of the material we need. This was valid till the creation of Bitcoin. The eternal dilemma humans face with their time concern, how to store the value they produce with their, the eternal dilemma humans face with their time concern how to store the value they produce with their time through the future. Whatever use humans chose as a store of value, its value would rise. And because more of the object can always be made, others will produce more of the object to acquire the value stored in it. Only gold has come close to solving this problem. Thanks to this chemistry, making it impossible for anyone to inflate its supply or to inflate too much, and resulting in one of the most glorious eras of human history. But the move towards government control of gold soon limited its monetary role by replacing it with government issued money. With Bitcoin, in the first time of human history, humanity has recourse to a commodity whose supply is strictly limited. No matter no matter how many people use the network or how much its value rises and how advanced the equipment used to produce it, there can only ever be 21 million bitcoins in existence. Should more people demand to hold Bitcoin, the only way to meet demand is through appreciation of existing supply. So the supply cannot be increased, appreciation, the price would increase. And having divisible by 100 million satoshis, there is plenty of room for the growth of Bitcoin through the even smaller units of as its value appreciated. Bitcoin's immutable monetary supply make it the best medium to store the value produced from the limited human time, making arguably the best store of value humanity has ever invented. Bitcoin stock to flow ratio is decreasing year over year and will overtake that from gold. And by no, sorry, stock to flow ratio will increase increasing year over year and they will overtake the one from gold. And by 2025, it will be around double of gold and continue to increase quickly into the future, while the one from gold will stay the same. Around 2140, there will be no new supply of Bitcoin, and the stock to flow ratio becomes infinite. The first time any commodity or good has achieved this. So many times I'm saying that it's the first time in human history. Bitcoin allows a human to transport value digitally without any dependence on the physical world, which allows large transfer of sum across the world to be completed in minutes. Now let's move to medium of exchange, a unit of account. Um, so Bitcoin allows human to transport value digitable without any dependence on the physical world. which allows large transfers of sum across the world to be completed in minutes, making it a great medium of exchange. Global unit of account is now an open question, absolutely a very long-term view, whether Bitcoin could potentially play the role of a global unit of account for trade and economic activity. For this to happen, Bitcoin will need to be adopted by extremely large number of people in the world, most likely indirectly through its use as a reserve currency. After being recognized as a store of value and with consequent sensible price increase and relative stability, Bitcoin will be superior to using national currency for global settlements, because national currencies fluctuate in value based on each nation's and government conditions, and their widespread adoption as a global reserve currency results in an exorbitant privilege to the issuing nation. So Bitcoin is superior to any form of government money. And in fact, an international settlement currency should be neutral to the monetary policy of different countries, which is why gold played this role with excellence during the international gold standard. Bitcoin will have an advantage over gold in playing this role because its settlement can be completed in minutes and the authenticity of the transaction can be trivially verified by anyone with an internet connection and virtually no cost. Gold, on the other hand, takes more time to transport, and its clearance relies on varying degrees of trust in intermediaries responsible for selling it and transferring it. So Bitcoin is superior to everything. And in fact, let's compare in a table Bitcoin with the other form of money. And we see that the seven properties, monetary properties, two are due to store of value, scarcity and durability. Then we have two as a medium of exchange, acceptability and portability. Then we have two for unit of account, divisibility and fungibility. And then we have the immutability. And in the book, The Seven Property, the author compare primitive money, gold, silver, derivative money, fractional reserve, fiat money, and Bitcoin. And we can see that Bitcoin is the best form of money we have ever had because it is better than any other good or metal in scarcity, durability, portability, divisibility, fungibility, and mutability. In fact, it is better in every monetary property except of one, acceptability. And this is because it is quite young, only 13 years old. While gold it's around since 5,000 years and paper money since hundreds of years. This is another demonstration, graphic demonstration that Bitcoin is the best form of money. Where we are now, at the moment, you see at this stage Bitcoin become already a digital collectible and it is on its way to become store of value. You hear a lot Bitcoin as a store of value. Once it reaches it, then it will have the chance to become firstly medium of exchange and secondly unit of account. Where are we? Where is my personal opinion? So my personal opinion is that Bitcoin becoming store of value and world reserve currency is just a matter of when, not of if. It will become a medium of exchange in the countries with high inflation and in countries with high remittances. Becoming a medium of exchange in the Western world, I think it's an open question. No one can really reply on this, and for sure, it has all the potential to become it because as we said before, it will be more accepted and it has the best proprietary and monetary properties. But it will depend from many factors. We will be able to judge better when it becomes a store of value. If it reaches the level of medium of exchange worldwide, then it will become unit of account. And everyone in the world will not think anymore in euros, dollars, yuan, but we will all think in satoshis. And in my personal opinion, also, if it happens for our society, it will be a second renaissance. With that, it's the end of my presentation. Thank you and see you in one of the next one. Bye.